Buongiorno ragazzi, and welcome to a new Italian 101 video. In this one we're going to cover the very last group of regular verbs we will study this semester, or better, a subgroup of ide verbs. They are known as I verbi isk or isk verbs. I'm going to try and make this short and sweet. Let's start by looking at a normal ide verb like aprire. It goes io apro, tu apri, lui lei apre, noi apriamo, voi aprite, loro aprono. I hope you recall that I just followed the standard procedure for regular verbs of getting rid of the last three letters of the infinitive and then adding the correct endings to the stem. And of course, since this is an ide verb, I added the ide endings. O, ie, iamo, ite, ono. Right? Now, keep this in mind as I show you an isk verb. Preferire, which means to prefer. Io preferisco, I prefer. Tu preferisci, you prefer, you one person. Lui preferisce, he prefers. Lei preferisce, she prefers. Noi preferiamo, we prefer. Voi preferite, you guys prefer. And lastly, loro preferiscono, they prefer. Now ignore for a moment those isk that I have inserted in 4 of these 6 conjugations and look just at the endings, and you will see that they are the standard ide endings. So preferire is actually an ide verb. It uses the same endings. O, ie, iamo, ite, ono. So what is the difference? Well, it's in the isk. That is why it's known as an isk verb. So remember, isk verbs are a subset of ide verbs in which you add isc, isk, in a few of the conjugations, in 4 out of 6 in fact. Which 4? Let's look at the table. So you add it in the io form. It's not prefero, it's preferisco. You add it in the tu form. It's not preferi, it's preferisci. Notice that I changed the pronunciation of the C here, right? Preferisco with the k sound, preferisci with the sh sound, right? That's just following the standard rules for the pronunciation of the C in Italian that we learned at the beginning of the semester, right? Soft sound with I and E. So preferisci, and then the next one soft sound as well, preferisce. And in the next two we do not add the isk, so it's preferiamo, preferite, and in the last one we do add it, preferiscono instead of preferono. So this is an isk verb, and all isk verbs are conjugated like this. You add the standard endings, but in between the stem and the ending you insert isk in 4 of the 6 conjugations, basically everywhere except for noi and voi. Okay, it's fairly easy. You just have to remember to do this with isk verbs. Let me show you a small selection of isk verbs. They are few, but they're very important. Capire means to understand. Diminuire means to diminish. Finire means to finish. Fornire means to furnish. Preferire, the one we just did, means to prefer. Pulire means to clean. Punire means to punish. Restituire means to give back or to return. And spedire means to send. Okay? Now, lastly, let us look at a complete picture of the endings of regular verbs in Italian again. We begin, of course, with the are endings. O, a, iamo, ate, ano. This is the basic set that you should have memorized, right? Then we look at the ere endings, o, I, e, iamo, ete, ono, and we notice that we have made only 3 changes. E goes to I here, ate goes to ete here, and ano goes to ono here. Then we look at the set of ire endings, or I, e, iamo, ite, ono, and we notice that between the ere and the ire endings there is only 1 change. The voi form, ete for ere verbs, ite for ire verbs, right? And to this we have simply added the isk verbs, which use the ire endings but add isk in the io form, so it's isko, not o. In the tu form, so it's ishi, not I. In the lui lei form, so it's ishe instead of e. And in the loro form, so it's iskono, not ono. Study this table, and knowing this and the procedure for conjugation, you will be able to conjugate all regular verbs in Italian. Grazie ragazzi. Ciao ciao.